The neural pathways in Commander Elena Rodriguez's brain fired in patterns that would have been impossible 3 centuries earlier. The quantum enhancement nodes embedded behind her ears processed threat assessments at superhuman speed, while her amygdala remained artificially suppressed. She stood on the bridge of the starship Harmony, watching the Krillian fleet advance through the void. "They're powering weapons," reported Lieutenant Marcus Thompson, his own enhanced consciousness interfacing directly with the ship's sensor array. 17 dreadnoughts, all targeting our position. Elena's tactical implant suggested 47 different attack strategies, each with probability matrices for success. Her ancestors would have chosen the most aggressive option. But Elena was not entirely human anymore. The transcendence had begun in 2387, when humanity first mapped the neurochemical origins of warfare. Dr. Amira Hassan, the Pakistani neuroscientist whose work had revolutionized human consciousness, had identified the specific neural clusters responsible for territorial aggression, tribal thinking, and the evolutionary drive for violent competition. The discovery had split humanity into 2 factions, the enhanced, who chose to modify these ancient circuits, and the purists, who fled to distant colonies to preserve their original nature. "Commander," came the voice of the ship's AI, its consciousness a hybrid of human neural patterns and quantum processing cores. "The Krillian commander is requesting communication." The holographic display shimmered, revealing the insectoid form of Supreme Warrior Vexten. His compound eyes glittered with predatory intelligence, mandibles clicking in rhythm with his species' aggressive posturing. The Krillians had evolved on a harsh world where resources were scarce and competition absolute. War was their art, their religion, their very essence. "Human vessel," Vexten's translated voice buzzed with anticipation. "You carry the gene banks of 17 extinct Earth species. We require these for our biological weapons program. Surrender them, or face annihilation." Elena felt her enhanced consciousness analyze the situation. The old human brain would have flooded with adrenaline, triggered fight-or-flight responses, activated the neural pathways that had driven her species to wage war for millennia. Instead, she experienced a calm clarity that would have seemed impossible to her ancestors. "Respectfully declined," she replied. "Those genetic samples represent irreplaceable biodiversity. We cannot permit their weaponization." Vexten's battle-scarred carapace clicked with what the translation matrix identified as amusement. "Your species was once fierce. We studied your history, the wars of your 20th century, the resource conflicts of your expansion period. Yet now you cower behind pacifist modifications. We shall take what we need from your wreckage." The Krillian fleet began to spread into attack formation. Elena's tactical systems immediately calculated optimal defensive positions, but her modified consciousness suggested something else entirely. She activated the ship's most unusual system, the empathy broadcaster. The device had been Dr. Hassan's final innovation before her death. It projected the enhanced human neural patterns associated with empathy, cooperation, and shared understanding directly into the brains of other sentient species. The technology was controversial even among the enhanced, as it fundamentally altered the consciousness of those it touched. Elena watched the Krillian fleet falter. Vexten's compound eyes lost their predatory gleam as foreign neural patterns integrated with his natural aggression circuits. For the first time in his species' evolutionary history, he experienced what it meant to truly understand another being's perspective. What have you done?" Vexten's voice carried unfamiliar harmonics, confusion, wonder, and something approaching compassion. "We've shared our gift," Elena replied gently. "The same modification that changed us. You can now feel what we feel, understand as we understand. The genetic samples you sought, imagine them not as weapons, but as the foundation for worlds teeming with life." The Krillian commander's breathing apparatus cycled slowly as his enhanced consciousness processed this new reality. His fleet held position, weapons powering down as each crew member experienced the cascade of empathetic awareness spreading through their neural networks. "Your species." Vexten began, his voice carrying newfound reverence. "You have conquered yourselves. Elena nodded. We learned that the greatest enemy was never external. It was the ancient wiring in our own minds, the neural legacy of 1,000,000 years of survival competition. We chose to evolve beyond it. As the two fleets drifted peacefully in space, Elena reflected on humanity's transformation. They had not eliminated conflict entirely, the enhanced still debated, competed, and sometimes clashed. But they had removed the neurochemical foundations of hatred, xenophobia, and the zero-sum thinking that had once driven wars. The price had been steep. The enhanced could no longer experience the full spectrum of human emotion. They had lost something primal, something that the purists argued was essential to human nature. But they had gained something more valuable, the ability to meet any alien threat not with violence, but with understanding. In the expanding universe, that might be humanity's greatest weapon of all.